Hello, I'm Monsignor Charles Minor.
And I'm Pat Shelton. Welcome to Reel to Reel.
And welcome to the great outdoors again,
Yeah, aren't
Pat.
they nice to let us get outside
And
again?
so many people get a chance to go outdoors these days. Do you have many children you know are going camping this summer?
Camping? No, to tell
No?
you the truth. I sent my son to the mountains once, but he didn't like it too much. He's city kids, you know?
I always
He
liked
likes
city
swimming pools as opposed to streams with snapping turtles in them, you understand?
under the snapping turtles, but I've always enjoyed the outdoors. I've had a great time camping since I was about 10 years of age. My brother Tom never liked it. He took one stint, that was enough for
No,
him.
I liked it.
But I liked it
I'm
all
a country
through.
girl anyway, Monsignor. So.
Strictly city boy. But liked it so much. We had a great time at camp from, as I said, 10, and later on in high school became a counselor, that kind of thing. But there are many things we can do as young people. Joe O'Neill has a great vintage VCR for us about young people today. I think you're going to enjoy very, very much. It's called The Chosen. Where do you see it?
And today's interviewing duties go to our executive producer, Adrienne Bailey. She's down at Ocean City, New Jersey. And you know all that glop and gloop that comes out of the ocean? Well, she'll be talking with Frank Livelli about saving our oceans.
More than glup and gloop, we have a wonderful story to show you today. It was made by Jim Iannarella. You don't know Jim. He's been working with us for quite a while. He's going to be working with us in the seminary soon. But he has a great story to tell us about how to take time out. It's really choosing the right time to get a rest in your life.
Over 60,000 students in 150 elementary schools in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia have begun to take time out from class to awaken their bodies and get a little more into shape. It all started here at St. Matthew's School in Northeast Philadelphia. St. Matt's hosted the kickoff rally for the supplement to physical education called Time Out, where teachers from all over the Archdiocese came to find out what taking time out was all about, from the program's originator, conditioning coach and physical therapist, Pat Croce.
I think what's unique, not just to the Catholic schools, but to all schools, is that you're doing exercise in the classroom and having fun doing exercise, and that everyone's participating, it's non-competitive, and that everyone's enjoying their own moment of fitness. Whether they break a little sweat or else they just get to move and rejuvenate, get the endorphins kicked in at your own mind's drugstore, so that when they sit back down, the blood flow now is circulating to the brain, bringing oxygen, so they're a little more alert and a little more awake. Hi, I'm Pat Croce, and this is Time Out, the exercise break.
Besides just giving the students an opportunity to get out of their desks and stretch their bodies, Time Out provides a chance for children to be made aware of the importance of physical fitness.
We wanted to have it in our school, having participated in it at the teacher in-service and really having done the exercises. We knew you really do feel good, and we wanted that for our children.
Let's begin with the shoulder stretch. Hands in front, pressing out, and lift. And we're going to hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mrs. Kathleen Kramer is Director of Physical Education at St. Matt's and the voice behind the speaker every day, leading the school in taking time out at 10 a.m.
That's right, so we can keep going. Everybody up this morning had a good breakfast? Because if you didn't, by 10 o'clock in the morning, we'd be tired.
My involvement with the Time Out program began in the summer. The end of the summer, Dr. Palestini and Sister St. Eugene from the Archdiocese of Philadelphia contacted me along with Pat Croce to get together at Pat Croce's place out in Wayne, Pennsylvania to see about the Time Out program. We looked at the program over. We knew it was beneficial out at St. Barbara's School. Also out in Delaware County, St. Francis of Assisi. It worked in the 2 piloted schools. And we felt, as a physical education chairperson, that it would be terrific for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia.
Hamstring stretch. Get your foot on the seat of your desk. Hands over your head. Bring your arms down. Point your nose to your toes and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think the students are really excited because they are excited about the program, the Time Out program. It will affect their learning. I think we will have some immediate effect, but I think long-range effects we will also see in their academic performance, because we as a Catholic school system are developing the whole child we have developed them academically and spiritually. I think it's real important now that we concentrate a little bit more on the physical development of the child. I think it's really important to stop between the lessons because the children, after working for a period of time, need to reawaken their bodies. It's a fun exercise for them to do so that they can continue working throughout the day. They need to stretch a little bit, and this helps them to move around the classroom.
Helps you get physically fit, so you could do lots of things, like run, like you can run faster, do better at sports.
Well, I like to take time out because it gives us health, and it makes it so we don't have to do all our work.
This is important. It'll keep our bones healthy, and we can think better after we do that.
I like to take time out because my legs need stretching because I'm all cramped in the desk, and somebody's in front of me, so I can't push them out.
And down, lift again, and hold. Foot on the desk. Kneading, pressing your nose toward your toe. And up. Let's give a clap. And everybody back into their desk.
I like the hamstring stretch the best because it's the hardest for me to do, and it gives me, and it keeps me, it gives me more strength in my knee than the other ones do. It gives us a break in between our work, and it keeps us fit, and there's many exercises to it, and we get to have a break in between.
It's important to pray before we do time out because we might do one of the exercises wrong and hurt our back or something.
Before they begin the program, the children give thanks to God with a prayer read over the PA system. This prayer was written by 3rd grader Daniel Sanders.
We take time out to twist and shout, but before we do, we like to stop and say, "Thank you, Lord, for our healthy minds and bodies too."
I like the hamstring stretch because after I do it, I feel energized, like I could run faster than I ever felt before.
No matter what their favorite exercise may be, or why they like taking time out, the important thing here is that these children and thousands of others throughout the Archdiocese of Philadelphia are getting out of their desks without getting into trouble, and, as Pat Croce puts it, making a pledge of allegiance to their bodies. The superintendent of schools says that the Archdiocese is delighted to be pioneering this program in so many schools and among so many students. They endorse the program, saying that it was one more way by which they can attempt to educate the whole person, including the physical dimension. But don't tell these kids that. Just tell them it's a whole lot of fun.
Time out. That's a great idea. Gets the cobwebs, shakes out the cobwebs, gets the circulation going. We could use that in offices, I think, more. I'd like to have it, especially after lunch in my office.
We'll take an exercise right now, but don't go far. Come right back. We'll be here.
Time out.
Could this Philadelphian be made a saint of the Catholic Church? The answer may be yes. She's Catherine Drexel, beatified by Pope John Paul II in 1988. Now you can experience her adventurous life story on audio cassette. Get America's Catherine Drexel, The Life of a Saintly Woman. Hear about her life through the voices of the people who actually knew her and continue her work today. The cost of this dramatic audio cassette is only $4.95. To order, call 215-587-3775.
When I grow up, I want to be a track star.
No one ever says, I want to be a junkie when I grow up.
I want to be a ballerina.
Yet thousands of kids let getting high make a mess of their lives.
I want to be a nurse.
Don't let drugs get in the way of your dreams.
take it away to Ocean City, New Jersey, where our executive producer, Adrian Daly, is interviewing Frank Livelli. Save our ocean.
As believers, we know that the earth is the Lord's and that we are called to be faithful stewards of God's creations. Hello, I'm Adrian Daly, and with me today is a gentleman whose efforts in the environmental movement have mirrored those words from Psalm 24, Mr. Frank Livelli, a member of St. Bonaventure Parish in Livelli, New Jersey, and a founding member of Save Our Ocean. Thank you, Mr. Livelli, for joining us today. How are you?
Fine. How are you, Adrian?
Fine, thank you. A man as yourself, who could certainly be enjoying your golden years at the Jersey Shore, you've been persuaded to become actively involved in environmental efforts. What is it about the environment that has persuaded you to do these things?
Well, you're right. I could be enjoying my golden years. I intended when I retired to fish and paint and learn to play a musical instrument. And then I realized, it came to my attention, what this chemical company was doing to our ocean. Ciba-Geigy was dumping 4.5 million gallons a day of chemical waste that can cause cancer and birth defects into our ocean right off our beaches. And I knew this had to be stopped, not for me, my life is drawing to a close, but for my children and my grandchildren and my neighbor's children and my neighbor's grandchildren. We cannot destroy our environment so that the next generation has nothing that we have had during our generation to grow up with.
How did you become aware of this? Was this a personal experience, or was this from reading, or what?
Well, how it happened was one of my neighbors knew I was a chemist. And he said, Frank, Mayor Gorga is having a problem with a chemical company, and he has a bunch of documents and he doesn't know what they mean. Would you look at them for us and tell us what they mean? Well, I thought it would take an hour, maybe a day. And when I saw what Ciba was dumping into the ocean, I knew they had to be stopped. And that started it. From there on in, it was a non-stop thing for 6 years right now, trying to stop them from polluting our environment.
And that is when you developed the idea of Saving Our Ocean and started that organization,
Yeah, it
right?
was developed amongst a small group. Mayor Gorga, Nancy Menke, myself, and a few other people got together and said, we need some organization under which to operate. And we, being a coastal community, formed Save Our Ocean.
Are some of the obstacles that you face in these organized efforts as simplistic as the name would imply, Save Our Ocean?
The obstacles are unbelievable. You're dealing with a corporation that has all the money at its disposal that it wants or needs. It could buy political favors, if you want to call it that. They became one of the biggest contributors to our legislators during the fight to introduce a bill that would close their pipeline. They've taken out full-page ads in the newspapers. They have done everything and have bought everything that money could buy for them. They even hired the national fundraiser for the GOP to represent them, figuring they would have it, you know, easy if they did this. And fortunately, we were able to overcome that too, because the truth is a lot stronger than their PR and their lies and their promotions.
I imagine that the Clean Water Act that went through the legislature in Trenton would probably bring a halt to Ciba-Geigy's polluting the environment and other corporations too. You were a very active force behind the creation of that law, weren't you?
Well, I was in favor and I did help it. There were others that were probably more active in that than I was at the time. There was the New Jersey Environmental Federation, Clean Ocean Action, and people like this who really, and New Jersey PIRG, that really went all out to get the bill through. I helped as much as I could doing the other environmental things.
Do you think they're really going to be able to enforce that law?
Well, this was the problem that this bill was supposed to answer. Right now we have laws on the books that if they were enforced, things would be a lot brighter than they are. This law was to make them enforce the laws, because big companies and big money can buy separate and special consideration out of the law. If they have an excursion, as they would call it, from their permits, and they pollute something, the government says, okay, now don't do that again. But they do it again and again and again, and nothing happens. So we've taught them nothing's going to happen to you. Do what you want, and nothing will happen.
In an article in the Trenton Monitor, you were quoted as having said that if we are to preserve the environment, we need the help of the church, and this was in response to the Pope's World Day of Peace message. Do you think that we as Catholics really understand our moral obligations to preserving the environment?
I really don't, because I think the average Catholic keeps his religion sort of independent from his daily life. There are some, that are constantly aware of the Catholicism during their daily life. But I would say the run-of-the-mill Catholic has a secular life and then a religious life.
We're just about out of time. Now that this law has gone into effect in Trenton, what do you see on the horizon for yourself?
Well, I'm going to be fighting two issues now, besides continuing to try and stop Ciba-Geigy's pollution, and that will be incineration, which destroys everything. I mean, there's no question. You could elect not to go in the ocean, but you have to breathe the air and you have to drink the water, and incineration would destroy those.
I'm sorry, we are out of time, Mr.
Okay.
Livelli. Thank you very much for joining me today.
It's okay.
And now back to you, Monsignor and Pat, in our studio.
Just in case you think this is not a real garden, it really is. You can tell by some of the outside noise we're experiencing right now, but they're good and healthy. Good and healthy, too, are the traditions that we live in and we grow up in. And I think it's important that we get and understand and appreciate one another. Joe O'Neill has a wonderful review for us today and a film he'd like you to take home with you in your VCR. Vintage VCR shows us something called tradition, heritage, all the things we are. Pope John 23rd told us, remember, we are all spiritual Semites.
As Catholics, we spend a lot of time debating the fine points of our faith. We squabble over how to apply Christian values to our lives. But ours is a rather historically recent debate. The Jewish people of the world have been debating among themselves for thousands of years about the best way to uphold the laws of God. Look at the Jewish cultural differences between the orthodoxy of Hasidic Jews and the contemporary nationalism of Zionists, the people devoted to the Jewish homeland of Israel. One religion, two lifestyles. Now here's my vintage VCR pick, a movie about two teenagers of the 1940s caught up in their own Jewish family traditions, Hasidic and Zionist. It's called The Chosen, and it's an excellent family film. You'll witness how two boys become good friends despite their different outlooks on life. Here's a scene from The Chosen. Robbie Benson portrays the Hasidic teen. He makes a sick call to the boy he hit in the head with a baseball. Barry Miller is the boy from the Zionist background.
You are weird.
I am?
Yeah, you are. You look like you walked out of another century. You played baseball like Babe Ruth. You talk like you're from outer space.
Thanks for the compliment.
You could come in if you like. Sit down. Where'd you learn to hit like that?
I practiced.
I thought you people only studied Talmud.
I have an agreement with my father. I study my quota of Talmud every day. The rest of the time is my own.
Your quota of Talmud?
4 pages.
4 pages? I can do 1 page, and I'm very good. And even then, I need my father to come help me.
I have total recall.
Sure. Prove it.
American Army casualties totaled 3,283 and 12,600 wounded up to midnight last night in the first 11 days of the invasion of France. The beachhead has become, quote, absolutely secure, unquote, the Germans having, quote, last night in the first 11 days.
That's amazing.
I can do all of Ivanhoe.
Now you're trying to show off.
Trying to make a good impression.
You doing okay?
The Chosen will show the family the strengths of a good faith life. And Jewish or Christian, we all always need lessons on how to relate to people who view the world and God differently than we. The United States Catholic Conference says The Chosen makes good entertainment for adults and adolescents. This is Vintage VCR. I'm Joe O'Neill.
Another good film for adults as well as children, proving that you don't have to rent films full of violence and gore, as Joe O'Neill so often demonstrates to us. Try renting The Chosen.
And enjoy it while you wait for us to come right back again.
We're also afraid of death, but people with AIDS can teach us about life.
Thank you, Billy. Okay, who's our next presenter?
Freedom to Choose by Judy Wilcox. In the air, freedom rings, a song of celebration.
We the people sing. Our freedom to worship wears many faces within steepled buildings of different denominations. We are so proud of our uniqueness, people come here to live with us.
Here, in our kingdom of religious freedom. Thank you very much.
20 years ago, leukemia took enough lives to fill a ballpark. But today, we're closing in on this killer, the Leukemia Society of America.
We welcome your comments and suggestions and encourage you to write us at Reel to Reel, 222 North 17th Street, room 907, Philadelphia 19103, or call us during regular business hours at 215-668-9842.
Music and meditation do go together, really they are. And I want you to see, even though they seem so disparate as tonight, first, a music piece will ask you, how are you on the inside? But you know, when you start to ask that question, and even though it takes long to get the answer, gently and quietly you have to learn to know. You can't take anything for granted. Even little things cannot be taken for granted.
And right there, yeah, it would either just be guitar and drums, and then bass comes in like the top, you know? Yeah, guys. Okay. All right. Here. Just notice I'll call you. Okay, like the time that when I do after the letter verse. Let it out, let it out. No. Let it out, yeah. Okie doke. You say tomorrow, tonight is better for me. You say the time isn't right, it's better to wait. Listen to me, I'll be there looking. Watch me, I'll be looking. I'll be there looking your way. You got your name up in lights, you're feeling okay. Listen to me, I'll be there looking. Watch me, I'll be looking for you. I'll be there looking your way. Tell me how you feel on the inside. When the spotlight's not around, do you run away? 'Cause you cannot face the crowd alone. You say you posted tonight a letter to me. Listen to me, I'll be there waiting, watching and waiting for it. I'll be there waiting to read just what is written there on the inside. 'Cause when you let it all come out, will you throw away what you couldn't say because you're down? So let it out, let it out. So let it out, yes. I'll make arrangements, alright. The dinner's on me. You say tomorrow, tonight, or just wait and see. me how you feel on the inside. When the lights are finally out, will you run away? You won't have to face a crowd tonight. Tonight, tonight, tonight.
I think we got it that time.
Lord, thank you for the clouds and the colors and all the different things we see each day that are magic to our eyes, and for all the sounds, especially the laughter and the greetings and the cheerfulness we experience with each other, with our family, with our friends. Thank you for smiles. Thank you for trials that help us improve ourselves and make ourselves better. And thank you for all those little bitty, teeny weeny things we take for granted each day.
Pat, while we enjoy the weather and all those outdoor scenes, there are many things to enjoy at this season of the year. Think of all the people finishing colleges and universities, new careers in the future. It must be pretty frightening sometimes, as well as happy times.
Adventurous, yeah. It's an adventure, though. That's the way I'd like to look at it. What's next?
One thing I heard recently, which disturbs me very much, is that people coming out of college may never own a home. The prices are so prohibitive these days. Now that's a homelessness you hadn't thought about.
No, and I guess that is also why we hear of so many young people returning home to their parents' homes, because it's so hard to make it out
The
there.
nest is getting full again.
But we wish you the best of luck.
Yes, and I don't think that we want to end this on a sad note. It's a good note. College graduations are great notes, and we hope you have lots of happiness as you look for the future. And so till we see you again, goodbye now, and God bless you.
Do you think they'll let us outside again after this?
Sure they will.
Good night, everyone.
Travel arrangements for Reel to Reel by Atkinson and Mullen, Newtown Square, PA, 215-359-5980.